Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The Goat, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar, yeah.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Hoping you could all hear me today. We had some technical difficulties. My computer wouldn't start. So gonna get, can you all
hear you great?
No?
We hear you great. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Literally, I was on my iPad when the computer, it seemed like there were some system updates. So when you told me to restart it, it did the system update. That's what was taking it so long. Well, since now we're on, welcome everybody.
Well, we made it. We're here.
We're here. Welcome to episode number 415 of KMA Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us on this fine Saturday morning. Paulie, you had a very festive weekend last weekend.
You did?
That's not in the notes.
Is that a problem?
No, we had a very festive weekend. My son celebrated his first birthday. Elias is now 1 year old, and we did a big pizza party at one of the parks here. We rented a pavilion, and so that everybody was comfortable if they weren't vaccinated or if they didn't want to wear a mask or if they didn't care. Everybody was satisfied. So
did you make them all wear colored wristbands?
I thought about it because I didn't realize how many people are at that park just like hanging out.
Wait, is that why we didn't have a show last week? You know, wait. I just want to point something out. The week prior to that, I moved. I literally moved my entire house. And I still got here and came to the show and then went and did it. You're telling me
you actually ran right out after the show.
Ran right out.
I
was moving. And I came to the damn show. You had a birthday party and you didn't have.
Paulie doesn't quite make the decisions in his family.
What time did the party start? I'm just curious.
I don't want to talk about it.
So you had to decorate. You had to be there to decorate.
Of course,
women couldn't decorate for you. You had.
Well, they did. They did. I was carrying stuff, so I carried stuff and they decorated. But let me tell you something.
I carried my home.
It started
at 12. What time did the party start, Paul?
At 12.
12.
I think it was 12. Was it 12 or was it 2? It may have been 2.
I have the invitation.
It may have been 2 o'clock. Let me just first of all, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered what $300 worth of balloons looks like?
I've never attempted to buy $300 worth of balloons.
No, well, neither did I apparently until I saw the bill, and there was $300 worth of balloons at the party. It's really not a lot of balloons. What you would think you would get for $300. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to find the picture. Yeah, and then Monday was my wife's birthday, so we did a little thing for her. Technically, the baby's birthday and Stephanie's birthday are on the same day. So, I don't know, man. Listen. Happy wife, happy life. That's what I've been told. Right?
Is that what it is? Okay.
Well, I mean, you know, she's nice enough to allow me to take Saturdays and do this 99% of the time.
She's nice enough to let you do the job.
Yeah.
I do say that sometimes. I'm like,
I've never really heard that. My wife is nice enough to let me go to work and have a job.
That's amazing.
That's a statement right there within itself.
So hold on. This is $300 worth of balloons. This is what you missed out on, Alex.
Dude.
That's like,
yeah, what are you talking about?
What are they, velvet balloons?
I don't know. The whole setup was theirs, though, you know, except for the baby's chair. Everything
that wasn't $300 worth of balloons. That was $300 for that whole setup.
Yeah, for the setup. Yeah.
Okay, well that's not balloons. I mean, that's a little more than just balloons.
I don't know. I saw a bill for balloons and $300, and I lost my shit. So it was not a happy beginning to the day. Anyway, I was doing that. What were you guys? How have you guys been? How was your move, Alex? Let's talk about somebody else.
It was great. It was, just did the show, did my duty, and then went and did my house duties.
But didn't you walk across the street to another unit? Like it wasn't like you moved 10 miles.
Wait a minute. We moved across the complex to a bigger.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was next door. You moved the house.
Realistically, whether I moved down the street or to another, everything had to go from one place to another. But it was fun. We had a bunch of the Smoke Inn guys over, and chaos ensued. And
I saw Italo.
Italo did what Italo does, and did a little ghost ride. Took a little spill. That was fun. Nobody was hurt.
Okay.
He was okay. He was a little bruised up, but he wanted to do it. So some things.
He's got to think about those crazy things now. He's a father now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst thing he's doing. I guess what am I going to do? Sometimes you got to let a man do what a man's going to do, I guess.
Italo's on another level when it comes to that shit. He's fearless, don't care.
Yeah. I mean, good for him. Yeah. He's the guy that bungee jumps and skydives, I assume?
He literally did my move barefoot. He was barefoot the entire time. He's a barefoot guy. If Italo could work barefoot, he'd work barefoot.
Literally.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin Acuff, for standing up for me, and Chrissy Critchfield, my friends.
Who stood up for you?
Is this the Pickle and Paul episode as opposed to any other episodes?
I know, really. Paul just provides so much material.
Right.
You think about it, like I was going into the show thinking, man, what are we going to talk about? I know Alex had a move. You had to relocate one of your stores the Easter Sunday. I was like, all right, we got enough to talk about. And of course, the second we get on, Abe has to bring up that I was out last week for a 1-year-old birthday party.
Well, Well, you know why? Because that gift has been sitting in the passenger seat of my car now for like a week. I texted you this morning. I said, I'll drop it off this morning. And then as I was coming out of the gate, just came straight to the office. I'm like, oh man, I did it again.
You're on autopilot, right?
I'm just on autopilot when I drive.
We'll stop by. They're out today doing like the Easter egg. Our town does like an Easter egg hunt, but it's now a drive-through apparently. And it's only for residents of our community. It's a big deal because they don't want people from outside communities coming. So you have to like validate your address, and then they want your ID when you show up. I mean, this is
outside your community come to your Easter egg hunt. Wow.
No, not in our community. I'm saying in our town, the town you and I live in.
Oh yeah.
They don't want the outside towns coming in because I guess that's the complaint, that there's too many people at these town events. So now they're like checking IDs and making sure that you're a resident of our town.
That's interesting.
First world problems.
Well,
I want to take a serious moment just for a second. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. So I want to give a little recognition and a little shout out to our friend, Vincent Michael Benetti, otherwise known as the Anti-Goat. So the Anti-Goat is kind of my nemesis on our Smoke Inn social group. But Vince had to, I don't know if his dog died or he had to put his dog down, I believe. Yeah,
I heard yesterday. Very sad.
Vince is having a really hard time with it, and I understand it. I've been there. So just want to ask some of our social group guys, why don't you reach out to Vince? Just, tell him you're thinking of him. Give him a little love. He could use it right now. I get it. I've been there. It sucks.
Literally the worst part of
dogs is we outlive them.
Worst.
So
yeah.
And I still hate you, but shout out to you. I love you.
Cheers. Yeah, seriously, man. Yeah. Our thoughts are with you. We're here for you, man.
I had to do that twice, man. It really makes it hard to get.
It sucks. I haven't gotten another one yet.
Yeah. I've never done it. So I have 2 dogs, but I never had pets as a kid other than like little lizards and things like that. So I think about it a lot though. That we outlive them. It's going to be tough. It's got to be tough with kids too, Alex. I can't imagine.
Kids, it doesn't matter. Forget the kids. It's just awful. It's awful for you. Dogs never do anything wrong. They never do anything wrong to you. They're always better than people. And it just sucks. I mean, fortunately, my kid was young when my dog died, so he didn't really. But it sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
cheer up, Vince.
To the Anti-Goat, cheer up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you guys like pick cigars to smoke on holidays? Like tomorrow, do you have like a specific stick that you're going to take out?
No.
Like, do you do something special?
No.
So I have one.
Okay.
Where did I put? Oh, I put it over there. I still haven't smoked the Alec Bradley Project 40.
Really?
Natural or Maduro?
It's a natural.
It's only been out for 3 years.
I have it. It was actually no. I did. It was not given to me. I bought it when it came out, and it's been sitting in my humidor.
For 3
So
years.
I'm gonna smoke that tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I don't have.
There are guys who do that. They'll lay it out for the weekend. They'll lay it out for the day. I can't plan my time like that.
Well, I just know at some point tomorrow I'm gonna smoke a cigar, probably at night when the kids go to bed. So, or maybe I'll do it tonight, Easter Eve.
Me too. And I'll usually walk over to my wife's humidor and steal some cigar out of there. And I'll smoke it. All the humidors in the house are hers.
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask which one is hers.
They're all hers.
That sounds about right. Well, so then that means I should thank her for all the cigars you've given me when I've come over because they're from her private stash.
No, sometimes we'll get a guest that'll send us some cigars, so I'll give those to you from from whoever's on the show who sent cigars. But yeah, I mean, speaking of humidors, man, we just moved the whole humidor this week.
Yeah, so was that cathartic for you to like the first ever store that you?
You know what? It happened to me when I moved to West Palm because West Palm was technically the first store I built. So when we moved it 3 years ago, I never have time to think about it beforehand because I was caught offside with West Palm. Same thing, I don't have time to really think about it because you just got so much going on. And then as you're unloading it, you see this shop transform into nothing in bare walls. Then it gets a little bit emotional, and that center where that store was, that's the center where I first came to Florida on vacation and hung out with the guys who a majority of them are still our regulars. And, to say I'm never going to be in that center again, because there's nothing in that center for me to ever go to ever again.
Right.
Can I make a point?
Yeah.
Motion. We didn't have a show last week because Paul was having a birthday party. I just want to point out that we moved an entire store and did not close for one day.
No, we closed one day.
You closed early one day.
No, we closed.
You did close?
Yeah, we closed.
Yeah, in West Palm you closed, right? The West Palm store was closed too because I remember walking shopping carts all day back and forth.
We closed on Wednesday because they had to take apart a lot of the electronics and whatnot. That's why. And then opened Thursday, and we did it. We really did it all in 2 days. We started moving everything but the cigars, and then Wednesday we moved the cigars over. And still other stuff we forgot, but yeah, it was cathartic. I mean, look, at the end of the story, it's not tragic because that was one of the locations we were looking to redo anyway.
Right.
It's not like
now this is an opportunity to kind of.
It just we got forced to do it before we were ready to do it on our schedule. So, we had a deadline to meet, for a lawsuit settlement that we were going through, and didn't really find the location that was a dream location. So we just literally moved into a temporary pop-up location, and it came out pretty good. I mean, the guys are enjoying it. They got a lot more room, a lot more space. The center seems to be all right so far. And, knock on wood to the team, man. A lot of guys put in a lot of work for those 2 days. We got it all over there. We got it up. And, I think when we do the next one, we're just going to build it all outright and have it ready way before we even shut the other store down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what you did in West Palm. Wasn't the West Palm store was done, the new West
Palm.
It
was done. We just had to move cigars.
Yeah, I was there that day walking shopping carts, and there were guys sitting outside of Panera. They're like, "Oh, any way I can bum one?" I'm like, "Get the hell out of here." We had two guys to a shopping cart to keep the grubby little paws from grabbing cigars out of them.
But yeah, that's behind us now. We get our warehouse key April 9th.
Ah,
6 more
that's
days.
Official now?
We got the email yesterday. In 6 more days, we'll have the key to our warehouse. And on April 12th, that Monday, the construction crew will be building out our warehouse, and hopefully sooner than later, we will have our fulfillment and warehouse center, and I'm sure the shipping team will be doing cartwheels down the street.
Oh my God, they'll have. Think about like what they're leaving and what they're going to space-wise. It's gonna make their lives.
It's not even that. It's a strain on the storefront. You know, half our lounge has been fulfillment center. Customers, right, basically haven't had access to half our lounge area. Stores always got boxes and stuff in it, so it'll be good.
Jeff, it's the Tequesta location.
Yeah, the first one has been in that center since 1996. Closed. Yep. What's funny is there were some items I literally have found in there. One's on my museum shelf that have been there since 1996.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that the Groucho Marx?
Yeah. It was real popular. It was real popular back in the late 90s. There was a company that came out that made all these little figurines, and it was like, small bodies, bigger heads. They weren't bobbleheads; it was solid statues. But they had Churchill, they had Humphrey Bogart, they had Groucho Marx, and like every cigar shop you went to in the 90s had some figurines by this company. And 3, 4, 5 years later, they were gone. But
oh, that's cool.
There used to be more than one. I don't know where they went over time, but the Groucho Marx one was still there from literally 1996. So that was
nice.
Great. Yeah.
Well, So we have a pretty jam-packed show today.
Let's get her started.
Yeah, we have a KMA spotlight that we'll start with. So I'll get that going. So today we have the honor of bringing on a friend of the show, Mr. Storm Bowen from Cigars for Warriors. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what they do. You've probably seen him. As soon as I saw Storm, I was like, wait a second, I know you. And he's like, yeah, we may have met or seen each other at a bunch of events and whatnot, but their organization does a lot of really cool stuff. So Storm, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about what Cigars for Warriors does, and then we'll get into the coffee because we have another guest with you that's going to talk about the coffee aspect of what you do.
Yeah, no problem. To keep it pretty short, our priority is to send premium cigars to the troops overseas. That is our number one mission. I will also send, of course, coffee, as you just brought up, which is something we've been working on pretty hard since 2017 to try to get every box with coffee in it. We're getting pretty close, but we're around 80%. And then we have, accessories that are donated, cutters, lighters. There's always a cigar press magazine, usually a cigar snob magazine thrown in the box, and a few, goodies here and there as they're donated. We're a 100% volunteer organization, which is pretty important to most people. That way, where your money's going. You donate, it's going to the charity to support the mission, not going to someone's salary. It's pretty cool that we can do that. Now, I wouldn't mind having a couple employees, administrative assistant. In the volunteer world, you beg someone to do something for 10 minutes, and then, it's kind of weird for me because I went from military as a first sergeant to volunteer world of begging and pleading for someone to do a 10-minute job.
So now you guys have donated, it's over 1 million cigars now, correct?
Yeah, we're close to 1.2 million cigars.
Wow.
We took a big hit with the deeming in 2016. We had to, really refocus everything, put a lot more emphasis on our donation centers like Smoke Inn. That has been the lifesavers, our stores.
So what I just want to clarify for our listeners, Storm. What Storm's talking about is when the deeming regulations came out, I'm sure that Cigars for Warriors received a lot of donations from manufacturers directly. And because of that law, they weren't able to do that anymore. Is that correct?
That's correct. Now, there's some workarounds, and some companies still do the workarounds, which has saved us. But as you can imagine, right after the deeming, no one had a clue what was going on. There was some bad information put out that hurt us. And it was pretty interesting. I always like to tell a story. When we started, of course, we didn't have a clue what the hell we were doing. And at the first meeting, I said, well, we need to kind of have a slightly impossible goal. And, we're on pretty much like this on Google Hangouts. And I said, I don't know. I said, through 800 cigars in 1 year. I got cussed out by the other 9 board directors. There's no way we're going to get 800 cigars. Who are we going to send 800 cigars? How are we going to pay for the 800 cigars to be sent? And I said, well, that's why it's an impossible goal. Well, the first month, we actually sent 860 cigars. The first year was 92,000. So we kind of overextended that. It was never, we started as a simple way of saying, thank you guys. You're putting your ass on the line for us. You're fighting for our rights. Here's probably the closest you're going to get home is with a cigar. Right. And as a vet, when I was deployed, that was, that's kind of how it started. As me and our first treasurer named Ben Edmondson. He was in the Navy back before nuclear subs. That's to tell you how old he was. And we were just comparing generations and what a cigar meant to him during Korean War, and I was telling him what it meant to me during OIF and OEF. And they were very similar to what they meant to both of us. So it was just pure accident talking that conversation. We decided to try to do it on our own. And then we slowly brought in other people. And
did you have access to cigars when you were in the military?
Yes, sir. There's
okay.
And a lot of guys know in the military, cigars has been tradition since crossing the Delaware. It's always been one of the biggest traditions in the military. Even with the huge cessation of cigarettes and snuff in the military, they haven't gone after cigars. So that's pretty important. It's helped us a lot, as you can imagine. That it meant a lot, and we started the charity that way, and then we just got great volunteers over the years, and that's really how we succeeded with our volunteers, our donation centers, our stores. And as they said, at the beginning we had a lot of manufacturers. At one point, right before the deeming in 2016, we had 85% of all the manufacturers donating between 100 cigars to 5,000 cigars a month.
Wow.
A month. And so we had to restart everything. So the point of bringing those numbers up in 2017, by January, our worst month ever, we sent out 715 cigars. So we went from 50,000 cigars for 6 solid months in 2016 to 700 cigars. So it was a complete turnaround. We had to reshuffle a lot of stuff. But again, it helped us get refocused in more important areas. Like I said, the stores. The stores is what has saved our asses. It's the people that come in and see the cigar box, the donation humidor, and they drop a cigar in at the events, at the festivals. It's a lot of hard work, but every month we've made our numbers. We've never had to buy a single cigar. So it helps us with the money that we have to use the shipping and all the nickel and diming, as y'all can imagine, it goes into everything from website. It's amazing, all these little nickel dimes, what it adds up to every month.
Sure. Sure. And listen, we were real fortunate. I think it was like 3 years ago, roughly, because we've had our Cigars for Gunners program for a long, long time. And, for us, honestly, the hardest part was finding APOs and people to register, because we would put it out there. Anybody in the military could sign up their APO to get a donation, but we couldn't get the data quick enough as the donations were coming in. And so people would get doubled up because we had no more new people. So getting involved with you guys was great for us. That we could just I think Alex, what do we do? We just sent about 650 cigars to you guys this week. I think we did a video this week. Yeah. But it's great. And, our Cigars for Gunners program is it's a select, I think, 15, 16 cigars that we switch up every 6 months or so that the troops can get a different variety. But it's cigars that we basically will let you add to your cart or simply just buy them outright if you want, that are at basically factory selling prices. I mean, our belief is always, if you're going to donate cigars to the military, you shouldn't have to pay retail. Doesn't make sense. So, we're happy to sell them at basically factory selling prices, not retail. And then we just box them up, and every couple of months we send you guys a package. So that's been great for us, because that's taken half the load off of us trying to figure out where to send them. And you guys only send them, from what I understand, to active military people who are abroad. Is that correct?
It's only deployed. So just explain that. Combat zones is first priority. Second priority is long-term deployments and long-term floats. So if you're sitting in Germany drinking beer, you're not going to get a cigar from us. And that's pretty important. We have troops deployed all over the world. I mean, just the Middle East, everybody says there's a huge drawdown. We still have over, the numbers in Newsweek a few months ago was 30,000. So let's say there's been a short drawdown of 25,000. That's just the Middle East alone. We got Africa, which is nasty. And that's one of the things we do is combat zones, but we've also labeled certain areas in Africa because they're so bad as combat zones, even though the U.S. doesn't consider them technically combat zones. So we do recognize some of those pretty nasty areas, and that, the floats are important. If you're on the ship and you're going to be out there for 3 months, yeah, you deserve a cigar. I did 1 week on a carrier, and that was the longest week in my life. So if you're going to sit there on a ship for 3 months, you get some good cigars. But you brought up
that's mostly because these are the people who really won't have access to get anything.
Correct. The access they have is very limited. If they have any, it may be, hockey stand. It may be some other, black market going on that you got to pay 10 times the cost and getting, you never know, especially when you're talking about Cuban cigars, which is what you see predominantly overseas. You never know how much of those are counterfeited, et cetera. But you brought up a really important point, Abe, is that we have the ability, because we've had guys come back from getting our cigars while they're deployed and volunteered for us. And so that's been a huge booster. So we can actually say we can verify every APO. A lot of people don't understand that just because you're an APO address doesn't mean you're actually in the military. Doesn't that mean you're actually in the U.S. military?
Right.
We have coalition forces, we have NATO, UN, et cetera. And then you have contractors embedded in. But then again, if I get cigars and I want to hand it over to my contractor buddy, they're my cigars at that point once I receive them. So you'll see some photos that you'll see contractors sitting there smoking a cigar, or Albanians and Canadians and British. But that's because that guy was generous enough, or that gal was generous enough to pass out his cigars.
Well, I just want to let all our listeners know, if you visit smokeinn.com and you buy anything or you're there, check out our Cigars for Gunners page. For literally as little as $15, you could send a 5-pack to somebody who really deserves it. So before we let you go, Storm, tell us a little bit about this coffee project you guys got.
Yeah, I want to bring in Shad from Janus Coffee, because
there we go.
Here he is.
Yeah,
he's the partner in crime with the coffee side.
We've been working on several projects coming up, and like I said earlier, the coffee has been very important. We did a 3-year survey to find out exactly what the troops wanted. And that it was after we actually started. We found that cigars were overwhelmingly number one, but very close was number 2 was coffee. And I don't drink a lot of coffee, as me and Shad were talking about when we started this. So we had a lot of our board of directors and other volunteers that are coffee snobs, big time. So we started passing out the different flavors and getting notes back left and right and trying out this, trying out that. And we came up with 2 pretty good blends right off the bat, and been pretty successful. What's really different and neat about this, one, it's a Cigars for Warriors coffee itself, but 2, not only do we get proceeds that Chad has generously given to us from his company, he turned around and donates an additional 8-ounce bag of coffee with every one buy. So if Abe buys a bag, not only does Abe's name go on the bag itself, donated by Abe, Chad and his company turns around, bags another 8-ounce bag and sends it to the troop, sends it to us to send to the troops.
Wow.
And that's very generous, as you can imagine, when you're talking about boutique high-end coffee.
Yeah. Chad, tell us a little bit about the coffee itself. What are the 2 roasts that you guys have?
So what we have going on is a medium roast and a dark roast. Try to, hit everybody's palate and their choice in coffee. And it's the same blend. We just roast it differently. The medium roast is called Honorable, and the dark roast is Loyalty. And so, like he said, I brought one. Actually, this is what the troops will get. Is this an 8-ounce bag? And then this was Storm's wonderful idea. On the back of the bag, it says "Special thank you to." And so, if Abe bought bought the coffee, I would write Abe's name on there. So then the troops have a little person to thank and know who donated the coffee to them.
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can they get the coffee?
They can get it on our website. It's www.januscoffeeroasters.com.
Nice.
Yeah. If you can't remember that, you can go to our website. We have it right on the front page. And you click the link and go straight to Shad's website.
Perfect. Well, that's great. So every 8-ounce bag that you buy of those two coffees, you'll donate one overseas to deployed troops. Is that okay? Right.
So they actually, and they can, when you order it, you can get it whole bean, or I'll grind it for you. And it's what you purchase is a 12-ounce bag. What the troops are going to get is an 8-ounce bag, which, I mean, after you grind it, this is probably going to give them 7 to 8 pots of coffee that they'll be able to share with the other troops at their deployment sites.
And it works great for us because it's a perfect fit for the size box we use. And so the 8 ounces was, Shad was just generous. I just say, well, we're looking for 8 ounces in every box. Now in my mind, I'm thinking 2 bags. Just do a whole 8-ounce bag and just give it to you guys. So that was pretty neat when he came up with that. And we right off the bat, they sold a ton of them, and we've already been shipping coffee to the troops with that particular brand on it. So it's pretty neat that way.
Yeah, I think I just sent another box full of bags down to Florida to be shipped out.
That's awesome. So if people want more information, they can go to the website on the screen now, cigarsforwarriors.com. There's also a link there to januscoffeeroasters.com where you can purchase the coffee. If you want to donate, you can click the Cigars for Gunners banner on smokeinn.com, and they will give you the details. And as Abe said, for as low as $15, you can send a 5-pack to the troops overseas that are there fighting for us, for our freedom. So why the hell can't they have a cigar?
Just want you to know, when we say a 5-pack for $15, we're not talking about some house brand or unknown something. That 5-pack is by Aganorsa Cigars, and they're all we're sending these guys quality cigars to smoke. We don't got a bunch of dollar bundles that we got on there. They're all brand name brands that you can send these guys, because the last thing we want to do is give our servicemen and women, shot
a bad cigar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Storm and Shad, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, we also have a couple other projects coming out. You'll see with Harman Solomon's doing a Cigars for War cigar on Cinco de Mayo, and 100% of proceeds are donated to CFW, and it's only for our donation centers. And so if you're a donation center, you get the limited cigar. Shad is also working on a retail coffee for those shops that like selling coffee. It'll be just for Cigars for Warriors and only for the retail stores. You can't get it online or on his store. You can only get it at a cigar shop. Then on July 4th, we got a Caldwell cigar come out. And again, it's 100% of the proceeds going to CFW, which you can imagine, Abe knows, and that's very generous from manufacturer side to donate 100% of the cigar proceeds.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Well, guys, it's an honor to have you on, and our listeners are, I'm sure if they didn't know about you already, they know about you now. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate all you do.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. All right. Well, that's pretty cool.
I got my good feels out of the way this morning.
I know. And now we're gonna go to.
Now we're gonna go to the bad field.
Here we go.
I'm waiting to see if he's making old fashions, but without further ado, we will bring on our Meet Your Maker.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
A man who needs no introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him; he looks like a star right there.
He is a star.
Mr. Juan Cancel of Protocol Cigars. Juan, welcome to KMA Talk Radio once again, sir.
It is an honor to be here, and good morning to everybody watching. This is actually very early for me. I know for normal human beings, this is like mid-morning. This is like this might as well be 5 a.m. for me right now. But I'm a trooper, and I'm here. And I just got home yesterday, like at 6 p.m. from my long drive.
He did. He called me. We talked on the road.
I was texting him while he was on the road, and then I stopped because I was like, wait a second, is he actually driving or is someone else driving?
So listen, when I know people talk about driving to Florida and some people like hate it, some people, I actually love it like afterwards, but during, especially the last like 4 hours, you get really itchy. But I love the freedom that it gives you. Like when you fly, you have the X amount of days, whatever, 4 or 5 days, and and that whole thing. But when you drive, like I extended it. I should have been back like Tuesday. I wasn't coming back home Friday because you extended. And I know a lot of people, like some retired cops. A good friend of mine, Mark Gaunt, he moved down there to Tampa, so I stayed a day with him, and it was awesome. And these are the kind of things like when you drive, you can like move your schedule around as compared to when you fly. But it does kind of suck driving 15 hours, 16 hours, whatever it is. But I kind of like it. So.
I got one word for you.
Yeah, what's that?
Audiobook. It works, bro.
No, absolutely.
Here's your whole book in a drive.
Yeah, I actually I have an audiobook for Game of Thrones. I was listening to that a little bit. I'm smoking the same thing, actually.
What is that, the Elliot Ness?
Juan, when you drive, you just 95 straight up?
95 straight up to my house. It's not even funny. 95 straight. It's like one big long. It's like you see on the GPS, I got the Waze. You see 1,000 and something miles. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And in a few hours, I don't look at it too much, but I you start looking, and you start to count on 800, 500, 400. The last 100 miles, you're like, oh my God, I wish I could just be there.
The thing about that drive is this: the entire drive, everything. If you've never made that drive, everything depends on DC. When you hit, you can either add 4 hours or not, depending on what time you hit DC.
Correct.
During that drive, the entire drive depends on DC.
You need to plan. So when I drive up, which is more frequent now, but you have to plan when you're going to hit DC based on when you leave, and then for me, I have to plan when I'm going to hit the city. So I can't hit DC during rush hour traffic, and I can't hit Manhattan during rush hour traffic, or Staten Island because I bypass the city.
Yeah, you could definitely bypass Manhattan if you cut through Staten Island and go to Verrazano.
But rush hour traffic over there, man, is
absolutely. The Staten Island Expressway is a disaster over there.
It's taken me 6 hours to get across there before.
Oh God.
So what was some of the interesting stops you had along?
Yeah, there you go. Did you stop at south of the border? That's the real question.
I did not. I decided to do a night drive because there's less people driving there.
There's a lot of Chinese massage parlors on the way up to night.
Are there really?
But they're closed at night.
No, they're not. They're called big letters spa.
That's the
says spa.
And in very small letters in the bottom, you can't see, it says happy ending.
Did you have any spa time for yourself on the drive up?
Zero. I actually decided I did a night drive because I want to do the bulk of my. It was great. I think we started at 10 in the morning or something like that, and I started at boom and 10 in the morning. I mean, 10 at night, and I got around here, and I started slowing down. Went to go visit my sister and stuff like that, but. The night drive is a lot better. Like it's a little scary because I'm terrified of deer, by the way. And I don't know if Florida have deer, but every time I'm driving down,
deer.
North Florida has deer, but weird that you're terrified of them.
Yeah, I'm a city kid. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. No, but listen, I'm a city kid, born and raised in Brooklyn. I didn't move out of the city until I was in my late 20s. I didn't move out here to the country where I am now in West Bubba F, but like until my late 30s. Out here, you seeing deer all over the place. The worst you can see in the city is a rat, and if you go over it, hey, it's no big deal. You keep driving. But speaking of deer, like I just bought my daughter a car, and she didn't have the car 5 days. Not even 5. It was like 3 days, and a deer came out of nowhere and totaled the freaking car. It's crazy. The deer.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's fine, thank God. But I'm the one that have to deal with the whole loss of the car. It's a big pain in the butt. But deers terrify me, and it's so funny.
Destroy your car.
They will. And then I have a Highlander, which is a pretty big, SUV from Toyota. I got her a little Corolla hybrid. It's little, and I got in it, and I've been driving big cars for so long, so I'm a big guy. I had to like climb down into this car. I was like, I don't know how people could drive like this, but it's so small. Like, and the deers, actually, I drove by the deer today. I looked at it and I cursed it. I was like, you mother. But it's still dead there. It still hasn't. Nobody's moved it. But this deer caused this car to get totaled, which sucks.
Oh, no.
Again, thank God that she's okay.
By the way,
seriously.
it's one of my favorite coffee cups. By the way,
now that you mention this coffee cup, I know Abe.
Wait, hold it up, Juan. So
I want you guys to see the size of this thing. Hold on, let me move out the way.
It's as big as your head.
You see this? It's as big as my head. But when Abe drinks from it, it looks like a teacup. Like he could put his pinky up and hold it with 2 fingers. That's the size of this man's hands.
I did not know it was that big because when he holds it, it looks like
he's like this. He has 2 fingers and he's like this. You think it's an espresso cup? Just think a whole meal in here. And this guy's drinking like this.
That's 2 cups of coffee in a cup for real.
Yeah, this is a lot. I actually, while COVID was happening, I was drinking 4 of these a day of Spanish coffee. Wow. Like you're not thinking. You're at home. COVID's happening. You're not traveling. The size of this thing. Throughout the day, I drink 4 of these Spanish coffee. Not the American drip. We're talking about the espresso.
So 2 months later, your blood pressure goes up 24.
1,000%. I go to. This is exactly what happened. I was doing that and about like a bottle and a half of wine a day, and I'm thinking I'm great. Blah blah blah. Doctor says, "My God, your blood pressure is like through the roof. I'm gonna have to give you pills." I'm like, I've never had high blood pressure, thank God. I'm like, for real, doc? He goes, yeah. What are you doing? He jokes around. He goes, you doing coke? I go, nah, it must be the coffee. And I did. I've always been terrified. And I've always said this. My 3 vices are cigars, coffee, and of course alcohol. And I always would say to myself, God forbid I develop some sort of medical condition where I can't do any one of them. And I would always say coffee would be the last one I'd give up because I just love coffee. So I was terrified about switching over to decaf because to me, decaf is like drinking non-alcoholic beer. It's like, well, why bother?
What's the point?
What's the point? Exactly. What's the point? So I said, I don't want to give up cigars. I don't want to have because with high blood pressure later on comes strokes and all kinds of kidney failure. So I was like, I got to get this under control. So I went and switched over to decaf coffee. And I thought it was going to be the most horrendous thing ever, but it's actually not bad. If you get speaking of coffee, like we were doing before, if you get a good quality decaf coffee, you can't really taste the difference. So I wanted to see if it was more of a taste thing I was going to miss or the caffeine. And I've been now off the caffeine for at least 2 or 3 weeks. I'm starting to level off a little bit more, thank God. But the coffee, like I'm drinking decaf right now, doesn't really taste like anything. I mean, I don't taste a difference, really.
Yeah, try to make sure you never get on that blood pressure medication.
Mm-hmm.
No bueno.
I hear bad things about it. I hear,
and then getting off of it, right? You'll never get off of it. Is the
correct?
Problem, even if.
No, you can.
Can you?
It's a lot of work. You can.
Okay.
You can.
So what I was thinking, because I was on keto, and I was just at home. I was doing a lot of like steak and like spinach and just I was frying my eggs and like you're just home, so I'm cooking 2 times a day, and you're on the road, you eat little pieces of twig here and there, but I was eating like major steaks for breakfast, steak for dinner, and I'm thinking my blood pressure is high, my cholesterol must be off the charts. When I got my blood work, but cholesterol was low, so I'm like, oh, this has to be the coffees. I figured it might be my the blood pressure could come from a lot of cholesterol, your arteries are clogged, this and that, but it's definitely from the coffee. So
Coop's got a lot of balls saying he needs to up your coffee game.
William Cooper talking about coffee standards, a guy who thinks Taco Bell is fine cuisine.
Whataburger's a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah, I see all where he goes. This is in the jerky thing.
I was going to say, Coop lost all food credibility.
Yeah, we know his standards.
Coop is actually on early today, just so you know. I can see him flailing in the background.
Stick to cigars, Coop. Stick to cigars.
Has his ankle healed up or not? Asking for his friend.
What happened to his ankle?
He stepped on a pebble.
Or something.
He stripped on a pebble on his, and he went through some, I guess, some off-road, like gravel-filled road, and like tripped or cracked his ankle somehow. Coop, here's to a speedy recovery, pal.
He's cheersing you. Oh no, he's got his crutches there now.
Okay.
He's holding up his crutches. So I guess he's not healed.
He's not healed yet.
Oh, Coop's on crutches.
Yeah. Let's talk about. We just had a great release this past weekend with the Taser. Abe, congratulations on. Well, first of all, thank you for hosting us. We can that right there. Look,
just mini Taser.
What is
that? I would have done. So for those guys,
this hurts. Just so you know, I accidentally got myself with it once. This hurts almost as bad as a tase. I've been tased before.
So listen, somewhere along the line, so we had this release with the taser, and that was, with Dojo, great release. Long story short, 500 bundles sold out. Thank you, Abe, for believing in us and letting us doing it with you guys. It was awesome.
That work was for you, bro. We just showed up for the party, man.
But and speaking of work, I want to give a shout out. I have it written right here. Tim McCabe, for the marketing of that taser. He did some great videos, and Tim McCabe is just a regular dude out there, a great supporter of this show, great supporter of Protocol, and he did a bunch of these videos, and he's like a wizard, this guy. I don't know what he does for a living. I think he works in the healthcare, but his side note is he does some great stuff. So some great, videos and stuff. So he does some videos that put my head. It was just amazing stuff. But Tim McCabe, thank you, pal. I appreciate everything you do. But for some strange reason, like Abe had it was hot in the pants to tase me. And the thing is, there's this monstrous lightsaber, and you hit it, and the whole room cracks. Like everybody stops and look at this thing. It's like I'm not getting tased. There's no way.
They all told me you were getting tased. It was sold out.
And let me just throw something out there. The fact you were in law enforcement for many years.
Yeah.
All my buddies that are in law enforcement that's part of their training at the academy. They have to get tased.
I've been so blessed. I went through two academies, the NYPD Academy and the Port Authority Academy.
Port Authority,
Neither one of those maced us, which I'm so happy about. So another cop maced me during like a scuffle, not on purpose, but you maced a guy and the wind blows. And so I've gotten maced before, don't get me wrong, but never during training. And the taser thing, I got on the NYPD in 98. I don't think they had a taser back then. And then I moved over to the Port Authority in 2002, and nobody had, no officers had tasers. It's today's law enforcement where everybody has a taser. So I guess, I don't know how I feel about that. Do you have to get tased or not? I guess I don't know. I don't really see the need of it, but thank God I dodged that bullet.
Here's my question to you then. If you were still in law enforcement today and they came up to you and said, all right, Juan, it's your turn, you got to get tased, what do you do?
I'm going to say that.
Be real.
This is what I would really do. I would develop some sort of heart issue and try to go out, disability or something like that.
You would really go that far to get out of the tased?
Nah. I would sit there and get, if it was a necessity and I was still on there, I would let them tase me. But now with that monstrosity you wanted to tase me with, it was like a lightsaber. I'll take Paul's. Paul's is nice. I even told, I was like, you're so hot to tase me. Let's get an empty lighter, right? With a little spark. Without any gas, I put my finger on it. You can spark me, and then we're even. But what is that thing, Paul? Show that again. Is that a lighter, or is that an actual?
It's lighter from one of my clients, survivalfrog.com. It's a lighter. It's called a Tesla lighter.
That's Paul's home defense.
But it's also
shit. That is.
It does hurt though. It's not the same as a taser. I have been tased before.
Wait, Paul, touch it. Let's see what happens.
No, I'm not touching it now.
Come on
for the show. Just put your finger on it.
Come on.
There you go.
Paul.
No, come on.
Come on.
No. Abe, if you had that, I would definitely. I would let you tase me with that.
Well, do it for the show.
Do it for the ratings. Everybody ratings. Write tase. Everybody write tase.
I'm gonna cry. I don't want to cry.
Come on,
Paul. The battery's
come on, Paul. That's even better. Just low charge.
John Barron had to eat live roaches and take gut punches and paddles from dominatrix.
I don't want to do it.
Touch the spark.
I'm telling you,
just
it really
do
hurts.
it.
Come on, Paul.
Come on, just do it quick. Just touch. Do it. Then just a tip.
Paul, do it.
Come on, everybody's with it. Everybody's with it.
This is your chance to gain back your manhood, Paul.
Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna go like this, right?
Yeah.
Just touch it.
It's got to be.
I'm just gonna go quick.
Yeah, fast. Just have it running and just quick tip.
Thank you, Paul.
How bad was it, Paul? Tell the viewers.
It hurt. Did you see the spark?
Oh yes. My God.
Did it go up like the guy said? Did it go up your hand and then, like a knife, and it kept going through your heart?
This isn't the same wattage or voltage. I don't know what makes that happen. When I used to do an improv show that was it was supposed to be modeled after a Japanese game show, and we had this beautiful young lady. I can't remember her name, but I was in love with her. It was a long time ago. Anyway, Noriko Santo.
That sounds pretty.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. And she would punish the guys when we would mess up in the improv.
Ooh.
So at the end, if you were the winner of the game, you got punished the most. So they would either put a dog shock collar around your neck. And when they didn't like the impressions you were doing, when they called out impressions, they would shock you. Or if they just didn't like what you did and overall they're like, well, he's the winner, but he's the loser, she would take one of those ones like Abe had, except it was like a more legit one, and tase you, and you could choose if you wanted it in the arm or the butt. So I've only been tased in the butt cheek, but it hits there and it burns there and it goes straight down your legs and you feel your whole body just drops. So I've been tased maybe 4 times. It was not as bad as that, but that hurt actually, intentionally doing it.
I got hit by
lightning.
No, I got not 110, but I got hit by 220. I think once in the grocery store. I was messing with one of the freezers, man. It like literally threw me across the aisle.
Yeah, that's no joke.
It literally, there was milk on one side, frozen food on the other, and I was working on the frozen case, which was 220. It literally, I ended up basically against the milk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was bad. So I was never been tased, but I got a pretty good shot.
No, that's just as bad then. I've been electrocuted before too. I was an electrician for 3 months of my life.
But the thing that the Abe had, that one was violent.
We used to have a segment with John, the old producer, shock collar trivia, where he would wear a dog collar.
I have one.
And every time he didn't get an answer right, we'd shock him and it would go up incrementally.
Yeah. The highest is rough, man. It's not a joke, but all right, there you go. You got that out of me. I'm feeling weak now.
Everybody applause. Everybody will hear it, but everybody applause. I'll do a toast.
Don't worry, guys. That clip will be up on our Facebook page.
Somebody's, Tim McCabe's gonna grab that little and loop it, and you're gonna see that whole move. He's just gonna loop it. It's gonna be a great video.
Come on, while you were doing the show, I thought I was watching the whole thing. It was awesome, man. I just enjoyed watching Eric, Abe, Eric Espinoza as well, and Juan just chatting. Like it was a fun event, even though I think you were sold out at that point, right?
Yes, we were. But
I don't have control, Paul. But you got to put Andrew McCree's comment up.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh,
wow, that's harsh.
Wowzers.
That's harsh.
Wowzers. I love Alan, the fake Alan Rubin, but he really does drain the energy in the room when you start talking to him.
He's listening now.
I love you, and I love to get my energy drained from you, but you are draining. But that's a good draining though.
Curtis, I would put it on. We have one for dog barking, but it's a super low wattage, and I've actually you can't make it go off without a real dog bark right above it. And I've been shocked by it, and this was way worse than the dog collar. Way worse. The dog collar just feels like a vibration.
I actually want to tase myself with that just to see how weak that really is.
So this one, I'll bring it to your house. We just have to bring my dog so that she'll bark.
So
no. He's talking about the lighter.
The lighter. Hold up, Paul. So you put the shock collar on? That's what you're saying.
I put it on my arm and I made the dog bark.
Oh, I thought you put it like on your neck and use it as a toy. That's what you were saying.
I have, but I have
as a bedroom toy.
Yes, as a bedroom toy to be politically correct.
You
give her the control. She'd be like,
I don't like pain. I'm gonna put a Band-Aid on this later.
On what? Show us your mark.
Show us your hand.
No, there's no mark.
You're such a baby.
That bump there, that's a burn.
I thought it was a callus. I thought it was a callus.
Yeah. Paul doesn't have calluses. He doesn't work with his
he uses baby lotion?
Yeah.
This is the left hand. But this is the baby fine.
So you don't use both?
Sometimes a little strange is good.
Absolutely.
Listen, sometimes you gotta have a side piece. You got the right arm as your regular, and the left hand is the side piece to kind of make it interesting.
Oh God.
Oh, Chrissy.
Chrissy's my girl.
Your fans are.
But meanwhile, Chrissy and Curtis are probably sitting next to each other at their shop.
Yes, 1,000% they are. They have this on a big screen.
She's like, "Oh, give Paul a hard time. Give Paul," and then she's like, "Oh, leave him alone." Yeah, Curtis, tell him to put the shot collar.
Yeah. That's great. Is there? Alex, were you smoking? Elliot Ness, Maduro.
Yes. Yeah, natural.
A natural. Abe, is that a Maduro or natural?
Maduro.
Yeah, I love this Maduro.
No,
this Maduro.
That's what I want to try. I want to try the Maduro.
This Maduro is fire, man. This Maduro is unreal. So this
Maduro. This one was natural.
Yeah, this Maduro is fire. So I wanted to do from even like when we first started. I when we first started, like the first one I wanted to do, I just love Connecticut broadleaf. So I'd ask Eric, this is going on 6 years ago. I'm like, Eric, can we do something with Connecticut broadleaf? And Eric was like, bro, do something else. It's too hard to get. And I knew that Drew Estate buys probably 95% of the Connecticut broadleaf. They just got they just got that locked down. So I actually reached out to John. I was like, John, you think, this is back when John was still, it was his company.
And you've known John for years, right? You said you met
years
him
prior. Prior to even having a company.
You told that story.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'll send you some. It never happened, and it was just, I was like, just forget it. Let's just do what we got. But this time on the Elliott Ness, I really wanted. I was like, listen, we got to do something with some broadleaf. I love broadleaf. Can we do anything? And Hector was telling me, listen, it's just virtually impossible to get. Even like guys like AJ can't get it. He said, but I'll tell you what, AJ was like so. And for those of you that know AJ is a real big. He's another alpha male. He doesn't want to be second to anybody. So AJ was like, screw this, I'm going to grow it myself. So he actually grew the Connecticut broadleaf seed in Nicaragua. And this is what this wrapper is. And it is absolutely fantastic. Alex, you smoked it. What do you think of the double Corona? You smoked it?
I did. It's very good. Yeah, you can definitely, taste that broadleaf. It doesn't have that kind of pepper bite. It has more that broadleaf, dark chocolate, coffee type note.
It is exquisite.
Well, on that note, and on the word phenomenal, we're going to take a quick short break. We're going to have more with Juan Cancel after this, and we're going to see, we're going to have Juan take part in our As the Record Spins segments right after this. Keep it lit.
Surgeon General warning. Cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale. Celebrating 85 years of success, the Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary is a tribute to the outstanding accomplishments Monte Cristo has achieved since the brand's inception. This cigar comes from the creative minds of Rafael Nadal, AJ Fernandez, and the Grupo de Maestros. It is a full-body Nicaraguan puro that pays homage to the original tobaccos used in the very first Monte Cristo cigar. Flavor notes you'll detect while smoking are pepper, cedar, and chocolate, all of which pair perfectly with a cappuccino. No matter what 4 sizes you pick, this classic smoke will send you on a trip down memory lane and all the way back to 1935. Surgeon General warning. Cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale.
Oh, hi. It's that time again, I guess, when I take my little wine break and little cigar break and talk to you a little bit about our friends over at Bonner Private Wines. Now, as you know, I like to do things the classy way. So, of course, smoking jacket and a little bit of wine from our friends at Bonner Private Wines. These guys, they send the wine directly to your house, but it seems simple, but it's really not, because it comes from these remote areas in Argentina, thousands and thousands of miles up in the mountains. One of their wines is from one of the highest vineyards in the world, actually the third highest vineyard in the world at 8,950 feet. It's called Sunal. It is a perfect pairing with a nice Maduro Elliott Ness, actually, because it's got that creamy, chocolatey flavor to it. There's no bite to it, no additives to it. So as a KMA listener and viewer, you get to take advantage of a special deal. They offer a discount at KMAWines.com. They also give you a discount on the shipping, which is probably the most expensive part. So check it out. It's KMAWines.com. You can talk to our friends over at Bonner Private Wines and have a little classy moment with me. Maybe we can get on the whereby, smoke some fine cigars, maybe, put on a fedora, feel like classy gentlemen and gentle ladies, and enjoy some Bonner Private Wines. That's KMAWines.com. Back to you, Abe.
Well, I do have to say, Peter Hololenko, if I said your name right, called it. I wonder if Paul will have pre-recorded it this week, which we've discussed from day one. And Paul, working at home, doesn't have time to pre-record a segment. I really thought you'd have a little more initiative and get your Broadway and be a little creative with these segments. But
that was pre-recorded.
That was not pre-recorded.
There's no way he did it in 2 seconds. He threw the rope.
Yeah, he does.
I'm going to ask the big question. That
why wouldn't you just edit it down instead of you walking up to the camera all spooky?
Wait. And one little thing, Paul. You had the robe, the fedora. You were very refined looking.
And the bed.
You could have made the bed.
Yeah. Let me see your bed. I'll tell you if you recorded it or not.
Actually, let me tell you, my wife, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I have so much shit on there.
The shock collar in the bed still right now.
Yeah. That was the exact position it was in that shot.
No, it was this.
Yeah, that was.
No, listen, the same corner of the bed.
The bed was made, and the dog was on there, and I threw a bunch of stuff on there because I put my whole wardrobe out to decide what I was going to wear. So now she ran away. Look, they're both dogs are on the bed right now. Hold on, I'll show you.
But no, I gotta be serious. Paul's always talking about his Broadway shit and the shit he's doing. I figure here it is. I give him a segment. I give him a creative idea. I say, make it cool. I'm thinking this guy's gonna put a little effort, run with this. Maybe some cool settings out by the pool, by a palm tree during a sunset. We get nothing. We get unmade bed every morning.
We still get this at the end of the video.
Yeah, and we get this. And he's working from home.
Oh my God, working from home is busy. I was gonna ask.
Pride, so, no pride in your work. No wonder you're not.
You just did that now, or was it? You just did it now.
No, he did it.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, did you have clothes on? I'm gonna ask the question everybody was wondering and afraid to ask. Were you naked under the robe?
No, he just threw it over that shirt.
Got you. All right.
No, I threw it over this.
I got you. All right, I understand.
I mean, if it helps you, it makes you happy. Yes, I was naked under the robe.
Yes.
With the
Somebody said it was refined as sandpaper. Great.
Thank you, Evan Darnell.
I just really thought you'd really appreciate that segment and run with it.
No, I do.
Zero effort. Zero effort.
That's not zero effort. I got all the costume props. I have a really cool one that I'm saving.
Zero effort.
I thought that was actually kind of cool. I'm gonna give you on this one. I'm gonna give it to you. I thought it was cool. I thought it was done well.
KMAWines.com.
I thought it was done well. It was.
I gotta order some. Are they not sending us any more samples?
I don't know. I can ask. I can ask.
I got to place an order for some. Anyways, Juan, we have a segment that is sponsored by Avo Cigars. It's called As the Record Spins, and I have a question for you right after.
All right, I'm excited.
All right, Juan. Here's a question from our good friend Eddie Guerra from Avo Cigars, specifically for you.
Wow.
You ready?
Oh. Yeah, I'm ready.
If you could build a fantasy team of 5 players, right, based on music, what 5 artists would you choose? Join your fantasy team.
Ooh, that's a great. I'm gonna put Alive or Dead. It doesn't matter.
Maybe we should have got Coop on for this segment so he could refute all his answers.
Oh, I got a bone to pick with some of Coop's music thing going on, but that's
what I'm saying.
Coop is on now. If you want me to bring him in.
But wait a minute, we need Juan's 5.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not Alive or Dead. Perfect. I'm gonna put Bob Marley. I'm gonna put Frank Sinatra. I'm gonna put Notorious B.I.G. I'm gonna put.
Very politically correct for you so far. You're hitting all the.
Yeah. No, these are
very multicultural.
If you look at my, these are people on my playlist that I have hundreds of. And one thing about Bob Marley, like anytime I'm messed up in the head, I put his Legend CD on or that album.
You listen to that 90% of the time.
Yes, pretty much, and it's great. So let's see who else I would put in there. I got 3. I'm gonna put in there. Why not put D. Martin? I also like D. Martin a lot, but he'll fall under the Frank Sinatra thing, so leave that alone. Let's do Prince. I do Prince as well.
Prince.
And then finally, who else I really like? I like this guy. What's his name? Styles. He sings Strawberry Sugar. I like that guy's vocals a lot. I don't know if it's AJ Styles. No, AJ Styles. I got to work with you guys. I forget the guy's name.
Henry Styles.
What is it?
AJ Smokes.
No, Henry Styles. Henry Styles.
I think it might be Henry Styles. He sings Watermelon Sugar. That'll be my.
My daughters listen to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
I'll look it up. But
So listen, I got 4 solid ones and one.
That's all right. You
Guy
gotta have a
Harry
position player.
Styles.
Harry Styles. That's it.
I
Harry
knew
Styles.
he-
Isn't he? He's from that band. He's from like one of those girl
He's
bands,
in that
right?
band
Like
called One Direction.
One Direction.
Yo, speaking of that Juan thing, Alex, that was phenomenal. Where I actually shout out to Eddie Guerrero. He was beautiful enough to host me at his office in Davidoff of Geneva in Tampa. There's a lot of jokes saying they allowed me in there, but it was the whole place was quarantined. There was only like 5 people in the whole building, and I was able to go in there. Thank you, Eddie, for that. Great time with Eddie that
Eddie's
day.
a great guy. I love the contrast in the dress.
Absolutely, this guy's like
Eddie's all refined Miami.
Yeah,
and then Juan's in like a sleeveless
Under
Armour shirt.
Yeah, pretty much, and some gray camos. It was great. And but what and I also visited Juan Lopez at Gurkha headquarters, and that place, if you guys never been there, they got a room on like the 2nd floor that's like this a monstrosity.
Did he take you to the back room behind the wall?
Yeah, he starts walking to the bookshelf, and I'm like, and I'm looking for like, what is he? I'm like, is Juan Lopez gonna be gangsta? And is he gonna like pull a book and a door's is this what's gonna happen? And he freaking pushed the thing. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's got this beautiful in the office. He's got this bookcase. It looks like it belongs in Wayne Manor, in Bruce Wayne's Manor and stuff. What he should do is have that like whatever it, Mozart's head, whoever it was, Beethoven's, and you open up the thing, press the button, and that thing opens up. That would be amazing. It's just weird comic book reference.
They have a hidden room behind.
Yeah, a hidden room behind. It's crazy.
You got a full wall there, so
you know what's funny? That my wife and I just looked at a house like a couple miles from where you are, Abe. And they had a hidden room like that. It was in like a kid's bedroom.
It's a bad house.
Why do you say that?
Because you'll be closer.
Oh, because it's too close? Abe said he talked to his HOA. They won't allow me in.
Right.
Alex, what you did with the Juan thing, that was funny because Juan Lopez is one of my favorite guys. He's a good dude. But you put do all your Juan puns. It's pretty funny. Good job, Alex.
Good ones in there. Thank you. If anyone has any new Juan puns, go to Smoke Inn Social, find that post, and give us your best Juan pun.
We do like to have fun in that group, I tell you.
Oh yeah. Do you want Coop to comment on Juan's musical choices?
Bring him in.
Yeah, bring him in. Let's bring.
I'm going to comment on Coop's musical choices.
My friend Coop.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Did you get the Elliot Ness Maduros I sent?
Yeah, I did. And I'm going to concur, Juan. I smoked the double. I smoked the double crown. I haven't smoked the one you sent yet, but that Maduro. I've been a little critical of the Nicaraguan broadleaf. I just think it hasn't been there yet. Without a doubt, that was the best. That was the best representation I've had of the Nicaraguan broadleafs to date. And that's on the record. I'm saying that.
Nice.
Wow.
It really was a good cigar. I mean, I think that Nicaraguan broadleaf's going to take off as it's worked with more. Don't get me wrong, but that was really tasty cigar, and the natural excellent cigar as well.
Yeah,
the Coop has spoken.
There it is.
Coop,
I might make it in the top 30.
I'm just putting it out there. In what world does Elvis Presley beat Prince in any musical bracket?
You tell me that. You tell me that. I agree with you. We put the bracket out there, and that's the voting went towards Elvis Presley by a large margin.
That's insanity. There's no Paul.
I agree.
No
I agree.
You can make.
Listen, I'll tell you something.
The only argument to that would be that Elvis paved the way for artists like Prince.
True. Okay.
So
I'll give you that.
So Prince was really an interesting character in the 80s growing up. And Juan, you may remember this. Prince was like the antithesis to Michael Jackson.
Yes.
That's how he was positioned. So there was
the adult version of Michael Jackson, like
right.
Very sexual, hypersexual, high heels, frilly, shirts.
Beethoven
kind of
shirts,
stuff.
right, yeah. And there was this rivalry, and I think there was always a lot of anti-Prince because of that rivalry. But I'll say this: Purple Rain is the best album that was released in the 1980s
Absolutely.
by far. And the movie is fantastic.
Purple Rain might be one of the best songs ever.
Purple Rain. Coop, we need a little more volume.
Here's the deal.
Got it.
Prince makes an album, right? He plays every instrument on the damn album.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He does every damn vocal and writes every damn song.
Yep.
Elvis, on the other hand, writes no songs.
Right.
Barely plays the guitar and piano, and literally is just a whitewashed Chuck Berry.
Ooh.
So, and Alex, I'm in a total agreement. We do this thing, just so you know, Abe. It's called Battle of the Bands. We had it before your Battle of the Bands. We do it on the Jukebox Show. It's like an NCAA bracket tournament, right, of artists. And what Alex is referring to is it was a matchup between Prince and Elvis Presley. And Elvis Presley just destroyed Prince, which shocked me as well.
Just down a smidge, Coop. There you go.
Yeah, I got it now.
There you go. He went from one extreme to the other.
That's Coop. One extreme to the other.
Yep.
Hey, Coop. Speaking of extremes, what do you think of my five, the Magic Band of the five?
I have them here.
Read them again. Yeah. Yep.
Bob Marley.
Frank Sinatra.
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls.
Prince.
Harry Styles and Prince.
Yeah. And Harry Styles. Yep.
Harry Styles and Biggie Smalls. I'll probably say no.
Okay. I could imagine Biggie Smalls doing some hook in the song. Like I could imagine them. You have Bob Marley in the background. We just got to figure out who'll be the one that's going to be the main singer. But
the best part of that band is that Prince will actually play every instrument of the album.
Absolutely.
Bob Marley is great too. Yeah. Bob Marley, he's like the godfather of reggae. I mean, he.
You know
really
what's insane about
genre.
Bob Marley?
Yeah.
So on XM, they have a Bob Marley station, and every song on there is from a Marley son. They had I don't know how many sons he had, but I know he had a lot. They all sound like him. And I'm listening. I'm like, I never heard this Bob Marley song. I look on my screen, and it's actually like a Ziggy Marley or somebody else. It's amazing how that man's voice transcends and flows through all his kids. It's eerie how it is. All his kids sound, all his male sons you're gonna have a male son, but all his sons sound like him.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
All his male sons,
yeah, it made no sense.
As opposed to his female son.
Well, in today's day and age, that might actually be okay.
Sadly,
sadly,
it is true.
Yeah,
it is true. But Alex, I'm in agreement with you. It wasn't me. That wasn't my choice. The voters spoke on that. I mean, I agree. You're not getting an argument from me on that.
That's the same way we got Joe Biden.
Coop, what are you smoking there, pal?
Paddy wagon.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, paddy wagon.
What do you think of the paddy wagon, Coop?
You'll see the review on Monday, and you're gonna be very happy with it.
Nice.
It's a really good cigar. I really like this cigar a lot. It's probably a great representation. This is San Andreas, and it's great representation of what San Andreas should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is As the Record Spins presented by Avo coming up now?
Sorry.
So, Juan.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this. I mean, we're three of us are smoking the Elliot Ness. Tell us about this Lawman series and how it came about.
Sure, that's a great.
And where are you going with it?
All right, so year 5 or our 5th release onto the market, we wanted to do something different. By the time our 5th release was coming out, we already had the Protocol Blue, we had the Red Probable Cause, we had the Gold Themis, and we had the Fisherman's Conduct. And when you look at all that, each of those projects are unique in themselves in some of the artwork we did, but there's definitely a uniformity to everything. Everything looks uniform. Everything it's an unfinished wooden box. It has the P on there, and each of them has their own little thing to make them unique. But there's a uniformity. So we had a certain look going on. And for our 5th release onto the market, we wanted to just spin it over and just do something totally different. And we wanted to be kind of different. And this is a very modern looking, design, this P with this endless kind of P. It's when you look at it, it's really, new wave, modern kind of thing. And it was like, listen, let's do something really different. So first we had to come up with a name. And always, as we're doing this project, we were talking about, we wanted to be regal, very regal, sophisticated looking, because as everybody knows, our main target audience is the blue collar working average Joe. So the plumber, the electrician, the cop, the fireman, the EMS guy, that's our target audience. It's the blue collar guy that wants to smoke great cigars. But we had a thought, like, even the blue collar guy wants on a Friday night, wants to put on a nice 3-piece suit, go to a lounge, get a snifter of some beautiful scotch, and just smoke something more elegant, more regal. So we went with that look, and we were like, let's do something just out of the box. And when we thought about it, we were like, how are we going to make protocol? Because we use everything. How are you going to make law enforcement theme elegant and regal? It's kind of hard. And then it came to us. We're like, what sounds more elegant and regal than a cigar called Sir? Started with Sir Robert Peel. So we did that, and actually we got a little bit of flack. Like Eric, our good friend Erica Tornsman's son, right? He actually told me, Juan, what are you doing? You have a certain look, a certain feel. You're not being yourself. This now mind you, the packaging is like, it's a beautiful shellacked box. We have the felt inside, the Vista, and the Vista's is beautiful, gold medallions and everything. Very more traditional, regal looking. And like, you shouldn't do this. This is not you. And we were like, some screw it. Let's just do it anyway. And that Cigar Peel was such a big hit. We could not keep those in stock. So,
did you tell Eric Gutterson that I told you so? No,
I would not. I'm not the type of person, But listen, I've always done things my way in life, and listen, people have always, and I don't think they're doing it to criticize. They want to help. They want to see you succeed, so they're going to give you advice. And I had people like when we first came out, people in the industry. There's no secrets in this industry, so when we were coming out, I was already pretty much. I guess I call myself a social media influencer, a cigar influencer, because for years before I even had a company, I was just active on social media. I worked with a lot of companies. Like we had some sort of like event. These guys, I've been with Alec Bradley, Rocky Patel, General at events, and they just you give out cigars at one of these multi-vendor events. So they would tell me like, you guys need to come out with a cigar that everybody's gonna like, so you could sell out. And we were like, that was great advice, but we said to ourselves, we're just gonna stay true to ourselves, and we put our cigar that we loved, because we really thought nobody was ever gonna buy these cigars. So you want to be stuck with a cigar that everybody likes, or you want to be stuck with a cigar that we love? So that was always been our philosophy. With everything we come out, we say these cigars are not going to sell. We got to make sure that we love the blend. We love it. Whoever is me, Kevin now, is just, we love this blend. And that's how we've been doing from that point on. So as we started selling the Cigar Peel, like again, we thought it wasn't going to go. People kind of like what Eric said from Dojo, Master Sensei, like, this is not you. It's not going to take off. It took off like wildfire. We cannot keep it on the stock. So we did a second edition, which is the Elliot Ness, and we decided to make it a series. So we do the Lawman series, it's called. And what the Lawman series is you see Hollywood a lot of times glorify the bad guy, the Al Capones, the Bonnie and Clyde, the Billy the Kid. All these, these bad guys get glorified, get movies of them. But very rarely do you see the men and women that spend tirelessly all their time and time away from their families, and they do this hard work to try to catch these bad guys. So we decided to do the Lawman series, where we're going to showcase famous people in law enforcement. So the first one was Sir Robert Peel. Sir Robert Peel is considered to be the father of modern day policing. If you took a police science class today, you will read about Peel's principles and Police Science 101. We talk about that, and so that's how fundamental he is to law enforcement. And the next one we did was actually, and I kind of was just thinking like, who would be a good choice for the next one? And Elliot Ness is probably one of the most famous lawmen around. He's the one that brought down Al Capone, or is credited with bringing down Al Capone. So we did that, and the blend.
The theme. Are you going in chronological order, like timeline?
Not really. We're just there is no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it's just who's, and the next one. So Elliot Ness should have been last year's release, but unfortunately, due to COVID and the way it's affected us, the small business, because we're small business. So we're not only talking about tobacco, we're talking about the guys that make bands, boxes, the whole 9 yards. Everything got shut down during the quarantine. And then when they pick back up, they're not going to worry about the little guy that has a 20,000 band order. They're going to worry about the bigger companies that have all their backed up. So long story short, I got to tell anybody, 2020 was a terrible year, set us back. So the Elliot Ness, bottom line, you got to keep on moving. So Elliot Ness came out now in January. We just got 500 boxes. We got 250 of the natural, 250 of the Maduro. Not even like a week after we got them, they were gone already. We just put a second order in, a second production run. So, and anybody who wants to try it, Smoke Inn does have it. And they were actually the first in the country to get the full dressed box. And those went out like in a few, I think, and Matt told me that they went out like in a few hours, they were gone. And he reordered. So anybody wants to try that, you could do 5 packs, see how they are. And so we decided to do the Lawman series with the Sir Robert Peel being the first. then the Elliott Ness. Now this year's release, we had to think about, technically Elliott Ness is a 21 release because it came out on the market, but we said, do we let this back us, slow us down? Should we come out with the next Lawman series? And we decided, listen, we're just going to keep going. So for the show, for this the PCA, am I getting that right? PCA? Yeah. We're going to do the next Lawman series. I'm not going to mention who it is, but it's going to be pretty impressive, the person that it is. It's probably not what a lot of people expect, but it's going to be
Sonny Crockett.
It is. That would be kind of funny, but no, it's going to be something really cool. I'm excited about it.
Is anybody else getting vertigo from Juan's camera? You're a little bouncy in there.
That was actually me. I'm sorry. That's me. That's me shaking my leg.
Yeah. Juan, it's not Charlie. It's not Charlie's Angels, right?
No, definitely not.
I think you should make a Crockett and Tubbs one.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
That would be a great release for, like, say, a Miami store, like maybe Caribbean. If we did like an exclusive for Caribbean, they're out of Miami. That'd be kind of cool, just like a Crockett and Tubbs release, something like that. But then we have to figure out, all the logistics of it, something like that, or figure it out. But that would actually be a cool idea. So yeah, so that's the Lawman series, and we're excited about it, and we're continuing that look, that very elegant, regal look to it. So we're excited about it.
Are you going to do modern day people in law enforcement?
I would probably say no, because you could use, if somebody's been dead 100 years, you could use the name without no problems. So true. It'd probably be an issue using like somebody from today, but we're using, for the next two projects, we're using people like from the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s. So some real old stuff to educate people too about the history. And I think the next two projects, this year's and next year's, it's gonna be good. It's I didn't want to get political, but I think the message we're sending is that, and we see it now, unfortunately, like when we came out with this cigar, and like with Bill and I, and congratulations to Bill, he just got promoted to lieutenant on his job. But Bill and I were always thinking about, what are we going to name this brand? And at one point, we're going to call it Fat Bastardos, but we don't want to make it too much of a joke. When we came up with the thought or the idea about making it a law enforcement themed cigar line, we knew, we both knew this. Being a cop and the way society see a cop is like the stock market. Some days you're up here. After 9/11, you're up here. Then, right, God forbid, they make, somebody dies and your stock's down here. So it's always going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be days when people love law enforcement and be days people don't like us. So we said, screw that, and we're going to do it in a way. We try to hide it. Like, we didn't call it the cop or whatever, but the things that we did were very undertoned, very hidden. But most law enforcement officer would see, like, this is the blue, the thin blue lines in there. You guys could see it. So we did little things to hide that stuff. And the more we kind of came out and people are accepting us, then we started doing a little bit more on the surface thing. But again, it's not like we put a shield on the cigar. It's within the stuff. But now again, with the Lawman series, you're straight up saying it's paying homage to the men and women of policing. But I think it's a hard job, and I did it for 20 years. Sometimes it's thankless. You're out there. In the majority of my 20 years, I just saw men and women that their main goal was to get home to their families at night, but during work, all they wanted to do was really help people. But it's unfortunate, summonses are part of the job. Arresting people is part of the job. Like, everybody loves firemen, everybody hates cops, because when you call a fireman, they're there to put the fire out. They're there to help people, save people. But cops, you call them when somebody gets in trouble, or there's a robbery, there's a burglary, and what happens? We get there and we got to arrest people. So it is what it is. So we wanted to do something that ultimately was just to pay homage and tribute to the men and women in law enforcement. And I want to say thank you to all you guys, past, present, and future law enforcement officers, male and female, for their tireless work and making America safe.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Now, we made a comment about the wristbands during Paul's birthday talk earlier. You guys now are known for this annual pool party. And
correct.
Coming up this summer. Tell us about your pool party.
Sure. So the pool party actually wound up. This is our second year for the official pool party, but we had already had 2 years of it. It was originally started off as Kevin Kythen's birthday party at his house, and the first year we had maybe 20 people. We wound up having 30. Had a phenomenal time. Year two, we said, all right, phenomenal. It's all right. Let's have 30 people. We wound up having 60 people there. Another great, phenomenal time. But it started to grow, and people. And the thing is, you invite people. You try to invite people in your inner circle, whatever, and people started getting angry, upset that they weren't getting invited. So Kevin had a great idea to make it a ticketed event and make it a real fun. There you go. And there is the way the wristbands came about. So pool party year one was during the height of like COVID, but it was outdoors. So what we did, we came up with this idea. You have 3 bands. Band red would be Stay Away From Me. I don't want Stay Away From Me. I don't want nothing to do with this. Yellow is, I'm a little bit open. You can come close, but stay your distance still. And then green was Kiss Me. I don't care. So we had this system in place, and it was Kevin's idea. It was a great system, and it just worked out phenomenally. And we're going to do the same thing. So this year's pool party is Saturday, July 17th. It's going to be at a new venue. It's going to be in Pennsylvania. Great pool, hot tub, DJ, band, all you can eat, all you could drink. It's $200. You're going to get a bundle of cigars that are only available through that pool party. It's called the Protocol Pool Party Year 2. And this one's actually going to be a barber pole. It's going to be a 10-pack barber pole. And it's going to have the Probable Cause band, the Mexican San Andreas, and the Themis band. There you go. Look at that. And we're going to have the lovely girls from Go Girls. They're going to be there doing like lighting and cutting service. They're going to be the bartender. And because, you go to these things and it's all guys. So it's like a sausage fest. So we wanted to be classy and just have some things for guys to see and a little eye candy. And it's very, very clean.
Are you saying the only way you get girls to go for your party is you got to hire them?
Nothing classes up a party like paid women.
Juan's got the green band on, I do notice, so.
Oh, of course. I was not one person. This was in August 1st of last year. So still in the height of COVID. Not one person contracted anything, but definitely not COVID. We didn't have no problems. It was out. Same thing with this one. It was out in the open, outdoors. People could tent there if you want. It's
no
going to be an amazing
or
time.
Anything either.
No, they contracted nothing. No STDs, no nothing. I was in my best behavior. I have a new policy that I'm not drinking at events anymore. Abe saw that firsthand.
I thought it was a lie. But
wait. That carafe that you were drinking out of was not like
that was just straight up.
Oh, I gotta give him credit.
Straight up club soda.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Good for you, Juan. Good
just
for you.
Why? Why did that? I'm assuming you're going to drink during your pool party.
I'm gonna be sober, and I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be sober. Maybe I'll have one White Claw. Maybe.
Are you sober here?
Yes, I was sober there. That is a sober picture. Yes, I was very sober there.
Well, why did you change?
Listen. So we've always been different. We've been outside of the box a little bit. This company. I consider myself a cigar nerd. I am. A fanboy, a nerd. I love it, and it's different than like say somebody like Fuente, for example. They are generations of a company. I'm just a regular dude. Legacies, right? We're nowhere near a legacy, right? We're the first generation of doing this, and it's so exciting. And I'm a consumer, so I'm there. Hanging, even they're there to smoke my cigar. I'm not there talking about a cigar, talking about, oh, this would go great with this. I'm like, yo, let's party. So that was always been my mentality. And the hashtag came up that there's no party like a protocol party. And it's true because we drink with the people and we're having a great time. And, it gets to you sometimes. And I get drunk and like most cops, they get a little wild and rowdy and not like fighting wise, but I'm getting naked and stuff like that. And then we're 6 years into this, and we're like, maybe you gotta, be a little more serious. So I'm gonna try to, people, when you have Juan Lopez telling you that you gotta be more serious, you're doing something wrong. So I'm like, all right, listen, I got Juan Lopez telling me this. Of course, Eric tells me this all the time to stop drinking. So I'm like, maybe they're right. So not that I've given up drinking altogether, but my tolerance went to zero because I have been cutting back a lot. But at an event, I'm gonna just be myself, and I was worried about that, like not drinking. Will I still be the fun, the one everybody wants to see? So I am a little bit more reserved, but I'm still entertaining. People still laughing.
You're going to be Juan no matter what.
Correct. Right? Yeah. This is true.
That's just the way you are. Right. Maybe the lack of drinking, maybe you'll just cut down on some maybe embarrassing moments.
Yes.
That wonderful T-shirt that's floating around out there that somebody made of you had to be a
yes.
Derek Dukes had it on.
Yeah.
Yes, it was me drinking. I had my hair loose. I just came out of the pool. I'm in Kevin's kitchen, and they had the Ron Jeremy room right there. And I'm like, I look like this guy. And I just took a swig, and then somebody took their camera out, posted it, and then it was actually Matt Goose. He lives in Florida. He had the idea. He reached out to me, Juan, I want to make a shirt out of this picture. I was like, Matt, nobody's gonna buy this thing, but yeah, if you want to make a shirt, go ahead. I don't really care. And he actually did it, and a lot of people bought the shirt. I've been seeing it all over social media. People wearing the shirt.
Juan is one of those guys that people don't realize because they see a lot of the drunk and the partying, whatever. Juan is probably one of the most timid and like ultra respectful people that you could meet in this industry. Like literally, like he was nervous in my office the first few meetings. I'm like, dude, chill out, man. We're just two guys talking, and he's always respectful. But the people who don't know him, Juan could say something that's taken the wrong way. I was laughing because I know you and I know how respectful you are. You just had an incident with Nick Perdomo that I thought
we could talk about it. Actually, that's great to talk about. I'll tell the story. I
thought it was funny because I knew how innocent it was, but obviously people who don't know you, don't know your humor, didn't really understand it. And I'm feeling for you as I'm reading your apology.
Right.
I'm going to tell the story. But let me preface the story with I was raised to be very respectful. Like
really is, like uber respectful.
I am.
No, I've never felt anything other than that. I mean, you're a gentleman, especially in person.
To me, I don't care if the way I was raised, I did that in my 20 years of policing. I don't care if you were a homeless guy, a bum on the street, I would call you sir. If you're a Wall Street guy, I'm still going to call you sir. So to me, there is, as a human being, I am very respectful. And especially even to now, like walking into this industry, I came in as a fan. I'm a fanboy. And I knew who you were, Abe. And just to be there talking to you is, you get a little starstruck and you're, and this is years into it, but it's still respectful. I am uber respectful for people that I respect. So I again, not saying that, just to let everybody know I'm very respectful. We all got that. So I see Eric Gatornsman's son. He got there a few days before for the event. He went to go visit a few companies. The same way I went to go visit a few companies while I was there. And I love the visits. But anyway, he visits Perdomo headquarters. And he posts this great picture. And for those of you that may not know, Nick Perdomo, when he goes to trade shows, brings this massive drum set. And Nick plays beautiful drum. Like you can't even believe. Say when Rocky Patel plays some instrument, Nick
drum sets in his office.
Drum sets in his office.
Not the one that just Eric was on. He has another one. There's literally two drum sets.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the same one. Okay. So Eric takes a picture of him on the drum set, and I like at this point in the game, the movie Step Brothers has become a part of America culture. Yes. Think about anytime you're on a boat, what's the first thing somebody says when you're on a boat? Boat and hose from the Step Brothers. Great movie. So the drum set thing, I said on a comment, did you rub your balls on the drum? And it was 100% a reference.
Yeah, direct reference to Step Brothers.
Brothers. Nick must have never seen this movie. So I posted in the morning and I get, everybody's laughing at it, but like 10 o'clock at night, I look at the post and I'm seeing Nick Perdomo comment, and Nick Perdomo never comments on one of my comments. What's this about? I go to look at it. The man's insulted. He's saying something along that his mother saw it, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my Lord. So what I did, being a man, and of course, besides being respectful, I believe when you make mistakes, you take it on the chin. Like you make something, you stand up to it and you own it and you take it on the chin, you take your lumps. So I went on and I did and I said, Nick, this is a public apology. I have nothing but respect for you, your family, your cigars, and especially your drum set. I was just making a reference to a movie, and I actually added the clip on into the post. I was like, here's the clip so you could see it. As a matter of fact, obviously you didn't see the movie, but watch it. It's pretty funny. So that was my little hiccup with Nick.
And I was reading that. I'm like, oh my God, poor Juan.
Yeah. I wasn't even drunk. I wasn't even drunk. I was sober when I wrote it.
I know. That's what makes it work.
Man.
That's how Juan is Juan. So sober, drunk, Juan is Juan. And most people who know you will always get you and understand you. I don't know. You probably had very little interactions with Nick. So he took that statement as complete literal. And
So it wasn't this one that came out.
That's the show.
Oh, there it is. Look at
That's a great. It's funny. I didn't think nobody. When Matt Goose told me, "Can he make this shirt?" I was like, "Nobody's buying that shirt." And he said he can't keep those. That and there's another one. I went to an event and I had long hair, and somebody had pulled the hair out and made 2 ponytails, and that's another shirt people have too, which is pretty funny.
You're a very photogenic guy.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thank you. Oh, out in the flag, my ADD kicked in and I looked at the flag. He said, this is a very nice thing. And you would think we always had this flag here, but funny story how the flag came about. We actually had Miss Pennsylvania here in studio and we were doing a show. We were talking about her talents. And one of her talents is singing. And she goes, all right, so we're doing Protocol Live, is this podcast we do. And we said, can we hear something? She goes, and she was like a little nervous. She goes, I don't know what to sing. She goes, okay, I know. I'll sing the national anthem. And she got up and started singing the national anthem. And just from my years as police, anytime anybody sings that song, you got to, and there's no flag. I'm like, hold on a second, there's no flag in here. And I'm like, somebody maybe had a pin and we hold the pin up and then we all pointed at the pin. But after that was like, we got to get a flag in the office for that reason. And a good friend of mine, Glenn Tarsi, he's a Air Force guy, went to the military base, got it, put it up, and now there's a flag in the office, which should always be.
It's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch.
No, it is nice. It looks official now.
Yeah.
Here's the other shirt.
Oh, there's the other shirt. There's me with the 2 ponytails.
That's very Groucho Marxist, right? Mark Groucho Marx.
Yeah,
Markish, yeah.
It almost looks Princess Leia.
Yeah, a little bit. I should have done the buns. I should have done the buns.
Take the hair out of the picture and throw a couple black flame glasses on him. That's totally Groucho Marx right there.
Yeah, I agree. That part too.
All right. Well, it's that time for Coop earns his non-existent pay. Let's see what's going on with the Scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
What you got going on this week, buddy?
Busy week in news. I'll start off first. Last week after our show, the Premium Cigar Association announced they're launching something called a product hub on their website. And what that's going to be is it's an online platform for basically cigar companies to offer limited edition cigars, exclusives, as well as exclusive deals. The idea is that retailers can go to the PCA website. They can place orders for these cigars. PCA will transfer the orders to the companies, and then there'll be a little bit of a donation back to the PCA on top of that. But PCA is getting, I think the big thing on this is PCA is getting into the exclusive game on a lot of these cigars, where they're getting either exclusive cigars or early launches of cigars that are going to be available to their members as something that's going to be a kind of a value add they're looking to do here.
No, it took them 2 decades.
I was surprised that I always said that, this is a good system, but I think they're going to have to the companies are going to have to also have a stake in this in terms of promoting some of these cigars, because otherwise I don't think it's going to work.
I hope they don't replicate a TAA model.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. I worry it's going to turn into the TAA model.
Depends how innovative the people who are on the board and how much they're working with the manufacturers to make sure the manufacturers are creating something that should be viable and exciting instead of just slapping a PCA limited edition on it, because I don't really think anybody's going to care about that.
Right. Now, one of the cigars that was announced was from Aganorsa Leaf, and they have been promoting this cigar. It's a new extension to the JFR Lunatic line called the El Grande Maduro, and it's a big 5.5 by 80 San Andreas wrap cigar. It's going to the PCA product hub for a month, and then eventually it's going to be released into wider distribution. So Terrence was on the PCA podcast.
That's just a line extension.
It's a line extension, yeah. Now, I don't know. The question is, we were talking about this a little on Thursday night. The question is, they're doing these cigars, and then if they're going to do exclusives for the show, we think the exclusives for the show are going to have to be at a higher tier to really attract people to go to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a difference. Ultimately, they got to get people excited about carrying these cigars or offer enough of incentives on deals. Like I know Rocky Patel, he offered a pretty good discount on the 20th anniversary line if you ordered it through the product hub in April.
Okay, interesting. What else you got?
So this was wasn't really a surprise, but another piece out of PCA is that Glenn Loop is now a full-time employee of the PCA. He's going to be the state advocacy director. He was in that role already as a consultative role. He went into that role right after he left the CRA. Now he's in that role full-time, so he's a member of the staff, and he's going to be focused primarily on state legislation going forward.
All right, good for Glenn.
Good for Glenn. I think it was a good hire.
Nice to know he's still working for our right.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Other news, and then this is there was a bill introduced this week, but actually it wasn't introduced this week. It was introduced last month by Dick Durbin. That is a bill that is called the Mothers and Offspring Mortality and Morbidity Awareness Act, or the MAMA Act. It basically is a bill. It's a bill to help fund women's who have health problems or pregnant.
That's what it's a bill to help fund Dick Durbin.
Yep. Well, it's also and how they're going to fund it? They're going to put a tax on premium cigars. So the tax proposal would raise the tax rate on premium cigars from 500 to 1,000%. So huge amount. They're talking about doing that with that. So this was actually out there for about a month already, but there was just some awareness created this past week on it. So again, this PCA calls to action. You can go to cigarcoop.com and do that, or go to the Premium Cigars Call to Action website.
Just to clarify for our listeners, that's on a national level or a state level?
National.
Yeah.
National. Yeah, this is a Senate. This is a bill in the U.S. Senate. We're expecting a bill in the House of Representatives to follow shortly. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've seen these types of bills happen before. The scary thing is when tobacco things are put into another bill. Those are the ones that are the most dangerous, as opposed to the standalone tobacco bills, which could get squashed a little easier than sometimes these types of things are.
They try to hide stuff in there.
That's how Tobacco 21 it got lumped into the omnibus, and that's how it got in there at the federal level.
Anything else going on, Coop?
One other piece of news.
There's a petition going around for that.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you go to the cigarrights.org page or the Premium Cigar website page, you can go sign that petition, or even go to Cigar Coop. We have it up there as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
One other piece of news. A friend of the show, he's been on the show a few times, Claudio Sroy, has officially departed Mombacho Cigars completely.
Wow.
So in January, it announced he was no longer going to be the president of the company. Right. But now he is, and he was going to continue in his role as the master blender. But he has departed the company as of April 1st. So
this is shocking to me because we've had him on our show. I assumed it was his brand.
I assumed he had an ownership in it. I knew that there were some Canadians that were the primary owners of the company. I knew that, but I did think he had a piece of the company. That was and I don't know that for sure. That was my guess. And yeah, it was a surprise that he's. I mean, when he was the president and master blender, he had a lot on his shoulders. I get that, but I didn't expect to see him totally depart the company. To be honest with you, on that. So he's going to continue to. He's going to continue in his role running as president of the Nicaraguan Tobacco Chamber, which puts on the Nicaraguan Cigar Festival. So he's still going to be involved in the industry. I don't know how much of a full-time job that would be, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's one time a year event.
Yeah, so kind of sad to see him go. I've always liked.
He's a great guy.
I always liked him. Yeah.
A gentleman. He's a gentleman.
You know how this industry is. Very few people ever get out.
They always come back.
Matt Booth was a perfect example of that.
Yep.
I can only think of two people that have really gotten out and have gone into the sunset. Tim Ozinger.
Yep.
I was going to say the CAO guy was
Tim Ozinger.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Cusano.
Yep.
Has gone. Mickey Pegg was one of them, but he found his way back.
Mickey Pegg eventually got back. Yeah.
He found his way back. I can't really think of anybody else. How about you, Coop?
I'm trying to. There was a guy. There's a brand called Emilio Cigars. There was a guy named Gary Griffith who.
We're talking about relevant people. No offense.
Yeah, but he had some buzz for a while. He's been gone a while. As far as you're talking at a bigger level.
I mean, like somebody that was known nationally by almost every cigar smoker, whether they smoke the brand or not. Very few, and let me just clarify this. Tons of people retire. Tons of people get fired. Tons of people quit, but they find their way back somewhere.
Would you consider Scott Chester in that category?
No, because Scott Chester was a licensee.
Okay,
right.
So yeah, you wouldn't count him.
Yeah, he really was in the industry. He got paid for his input and his mark and his image. And
how about Marvin Samuel?
Short term, yes, but it's still early. But yeah,
it's still early. I was gonna say, yeah,
still early. So I wouldn't really say we can put him in that category yet. Still early.
Somebody mentioned Fred Rui, but again,
still early. Still early.
But Fred's still kind of keeping one foot in it. He was at the trade show in 2019.
He's doing a lot of stuff with Smoke Inn Social.
Yeah, he's a star.
Yeah, he hasn't totally like Tim Osgood has been pretty much gone with that. Charlie Tarano.
Charlie Tarano, there's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jose Oliva, who you'll never see probably holding a cigar ever again.
All right.
Interesting.
I don't know. He just seemed to we all got excited when he got into a powerful position in politics, and it just seems like he's become non-existent. Can't even communicate with him. I don't know.
Very interesting. I didn't know that.
Hey, question.
Could be just me. I might have asked if someone rubbed their balls on his drum set. I don't know.
I'm wondering if he would have been offended by that. Hopefully his mother didn't cry. That part broke my heart.
The question is, I want to know the consequences for Eric being on the drum set with Nick Perdomo. That's the bigger question.
Believe me, that didn't happen without Nick's permission.
Okay, it's like I'm gonna make sure that was clear.
Sure. Those are like babies.
You're not. That's in his office. You're not getting in there without.
No, you have to get an invite for that. Hey, Abe, if I gave you a ticket to the pool party, would you come down? You always used to being in pools.
When is it?
July 17th.
Maybe. You know what's crazy this year? I think it's because of COVID too. My kids got less than a 2-month summer break.
Wow.
It's nuts this year. I mean, we were trying to plan a family trip. It's like I got this little window to do anything with because normally they get out early May, mid-May. They're getting out June 18th or 19th, going back August 8th or 10th.
Oof, that is a small window.
Hey, Juan and Paul, New York, we had school till the end of June. We always had school till
I can't go to your pool party.
Yeah.
So
because of Thor?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't want to see Thor's back meat hanging out again.
See, so the after party. For the pool for last year's pool party, I actually went behind Thor. Everybody was around. I went behind Thor quietly like a ninja. You could tell he was drunk because I am not stealthy like a ninja at all. But I walked behind him and I panched him. There's video of that.
Why would you do that to your guests? Why would you do that to your guests?
Oh Lord, it's a funny video.
Now they're going to be paying $200 to get pants.
And that's why I'm not drinking.
Coop, what else you got coming up this week on cigar-coop.com?
We're gonna have. I'm gonna be reviewing the Paddy Wagon. You should see that review by Monday. So check out that Crown Heads.
I'm excited for that.
You'll be happy with it. This is a great cigar. La Coalition review by Crown Heads is coming up, and then on the show Thursday night, we have the other Juan Lopez.
Nice.
So excited about that. Yep.
I gotta tell you this, Elliot Ness. did a nub.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job with that, Elliot. The double Corona is not getting released, Juan. That's the one.
See, when I've given that double Corona to people, that's the one there. Yeah. It's a great size. It smokes great, but it is intimidating to people. It's a long smoke. It's a 7.5. That thing
that's in my head.
It's a commitment, but it's a
I think it's a great size.
I like how you kept that as that's their founder's size, right? I kind of like how you've done that because I think it's something. It's something special if you get one of them. I was honored
if you
to get
one. We don't give them out to so people that come to the office, we have a small circle of people that come around. It's pretty much open door policy. Not like Abe's office. You got to knock 3 times and do a facial scan before you walk into his office. But no, we have an open door policy. If somebody wants to come by and then a special thing when they come to the office, we'll give them one of those owner blends, and they love it. Some of them smoke. I want them. I say, smoke it right now. Like, I'm gonna keep this for my collection. Listen, smoke it. That's why
I actually work in my office. So it's a little different environment here than at the protocol headquarters. Listen, but we were getting toward the end of the show. We don't want to miss out on Tailored Tape. Now, if you don't know what Tailored Tape is, it's a little boxing segment between our man Alex Tabella and Coop, and they've been doing a top 10 countdown. I lost track with the missing week. What are you guys on, number 5 now?
Number 5. Yes. We're at number 5.
All right, because you took the week for the Marvin Hagler tribute. So let's take it to Tail of the Tape.
All right, coming in at number 5 on my list is Joe Louis. Joe Louis beat the Nazis. 1938, Joe Louis's rematch against Max Schmeling, probably the most important boxing match of the 20th century. Here's a fight where literally the guy had the weight of his country on his back. It was America versus perceived Nazi invincibility, and Joe Louis finished Max Schmeling within a round. After that, the guy goes and he literally volunteers to join the army during World War II. Longest running heavyweight champion of all time. And a little lesser known fact, Joe Louis is actually the first person of color to play in a PGA sanctioned event. He helped break the color barrier in golf. Go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, I have, great pick, by the way. I have Roberto Duran, hands of steel. He was one of the 4 kings. Maybe the knock on Roberto Duran is he's the one guy who lost to Hearns, Hagler, and Leonard. But as a lightweight, this guy was the most dominant lightweight probably I've ever seen in my lifetime. He went up in weight. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he got a fair decision with that. After that, he kind of, I think as he went up to the higher weights, I don't think he was as effective, and maybe that kind of took a little of the luster off. People forget he gave Marvin Hagler a really good fight when he fought for the middleweight title. So I have Roberto Duran number 5.
Yeah, good pick. A lot of people say, Roberto Duran, best lightweight of all time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's those. A lot of people unfortunately remember the later fights of his, where he lost a lot of those fights at the end of his career. But he fought some really good competition along the way. Did you see the movie that they did, Hands of Stone?
I haven't seen Hands of Stone. I want to.
Let me tell you, it's probably if I had to put Rocky movies aside, this is as good a boxing movie as you're gonna get.
Was it as good as the Muhammad Ali when Will Smith played Muhammad Ali? I didn't see that movie.
That was really good too. That was really good. I think this was a little better. I'll be honest with you. And that's not a knock on Will Smith, who I think did a great job in that role.
Are you a boxing guy, Juan?
I used to go watch the guy from Jersey City, the guy that got killed by a Brazilian chick or something like that. What was his name? The Jersey City guy.
Talking about. Used to fight Mickey Ward, Coop.
Arturo Gatti.
I used to go to Atlantic City and watch Arturo Gatti every year, and also as a cop thing, we would go watch the Puerto Rican Day Parade at Madison Square Garden. The day before the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Puerto Rican boxer. I can't remember his name either.
Juan Laporte.
No, young cat.
Lost Antonio Margarito, Miguel Cotto.
Miguel Cotto. So I don't really watch much sports, but I do watch a little bit of things. So yeah, to answer your question, no.
All right, well, the guys are officially past the halfway mark. So in another 30 days, we should know who is their number 1 of all time.
I can't wait. Actually, I'm really enjoying this. I mean, again, I'm not a huge boxing guy, but there's actually boxing in my family, so it's interesting.
I'm going to make a suggestion on the air because I don't know if I could take like years and years of boxing talk, but I love this top 10. I think you guys should just roll this into a top 10 of different categories.
I love it. Great idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Alex, we talked about this with some of the music stuff, actually.
Yeah,
we actually have been talking about that.
I love the top 10 part of it, and it gives something to look forward to every week, but I'm not sure I can go back to listening just to boxing talk. I have no idea.
No, it's impressive. I like it a lot. It's good. It's good content for the people.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Hey, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the cigar that Coop is smoking, and it's actually one of Abe's biggest fanboys, Brian Lewis from Caravan Cigar Company. And real quick, the reason why we call it the Paddy Wagon is because Brian Lewis, great little shop in Bath, Pennsylvania. The way he actually started was literally out of his family's the back of the caravan. He had a caravan, they loaded it up, and they would go through all these festivals in Pennsylvania, Bacon Fest, Beer Fest, whatever, Music Fest, and he'd set up a little stand, pay whatever the amount was for the vendor, and he just sell cigars. And it was just an interesting concept. Like out there in that area, nobody was doing it. And he started doing so well, so he actually opened up a hard location, a brick and mortar spot in Bath, PA, called Caravan Cigars. And how we always do try to put law enforcement themes, and every time we do like a project for somebody, we want to do it to somehow showcase that particular company. So I took the word caravan. When you think of a caravan, think of a van. How do police use vans? And I came up with the Paddy Wagon, and we did that blend with him, and it was awesome. So I want to give him a shout out because he loves Abe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No,
Juan,
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Juan, this is an ongoing release too, right? It's not just
absolutely no.
Yeah, that's what
he wanted a store ongoing exclusive.
Yeah.
So that's why I sent it to you, and I'm sure he's going to be happy to read the review also.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice cigar, great box press. If you're a Protocol fan, I'd encourage you to get this cigar.
All right. Well, in our traditional closing fashion on KMA Talk Radio, it's time to find out this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
All righty, KMA fans, here we go. This week's Cigar Insane Asylum. This week's inductee just really wanted to get a great picture for Instagram. 25-year-old Jose Navarrete took his 2-year-old daughter to San Diego this past week. You know, just a day of fun.
San Diego Zoo.
Okay. I'm reading what you sent me.
I know, it's a typo.
You know, a day of fun, watching the animals, taking pictures. Except Jose wanted to get a better picture than anyone else. When he and his daughter approached the enclosure for the Asian and African elephants. By the way, do you know how to tell the difference between an Asian and African elephant?
Their ears.
Yes. The African elephant's ears actually look like Africa.
Look like Africa, yep.
Wow.
Yes.
I learned that at Disney World.
The Asian one are the ones that have the little itty-bitty ears. So, that being said, they walk up. Jose wanted to take a selfie with a large African bull elephant. So in order to get the best picture possible, he hopped over several barriers and dipped under a fence into the enclosure to get a selfie with his daughter in front of the elephant. With his back turned to the elephant, he began to trot towards him. While people started yelling, he remained unaware that the elephant was charging at him until the last possible second. Jose then turned around with his daughter and began to bolt. He ducked under the fence, dropped his daughter mere inches from the elephant's feet and trunk, scooped her up, and made his way back to safety through the barriers.
Wow.
He has been arrested for and being held on $100,000 bail, which is spelled B-A-I-L, not like
I see that. It auto-corrected me.
Sure. Bail for child endangerment. No word as to whether or not he got the perfect selfie. Congratulations, Jose. You are without a doubt this week's inductee into the Cigar Insane Asylum.
Hey, real quick.
What social media has done to the minds of people.
There's actually a girl that died one time. She was like on a cliff and she wanted to get a picture and she lost her footing, and that's probably happened a lot. But hey, real quick, I want to say that thing you did with the Honda box on the show was probably one of the funniest things. And when you showed me the picture and it didn't dawn on me, but my God, was that one of the funniest things you did with that Honda box?
Dude, does anybody know what he's talking about?
Yes, he shipped you a box.
The box.
The Hyundai box.
During Gutterman's show.
Yeah, on the show, on Eric's show. And that was
you know what? I'm going to tell you what we need to do on KMA. We need to do like a special awards show and come up with the goofiest awards, because it's ever the most unique packaging to ship product.
Always.
Protocol Cigars gets the award without a doubt.
I've got
math on the flap. I mean, it's always.
Listen, I got a package from Juan. He kind of put two separate packages into one of the Elliot Nesses, and you kind of taped it up as one package, right, even though it was in two separate envelopes, so to speak. It was genius. It was genius.
Yeah, sometimes we're an environmentally conscious company, so we recycle boxes. But he's showing me this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to give him say maybe it's steaks, maybe it's drinks. I'm like,
did you know it was yours? Did you?
No, not until afterward. You showed me the open box. I'm like, what is a protocol box?
Showing this box. Anybody guess what's in this box? No, it's a protocol order.
The funny part is,
was it a Honda? It was a Hyundai box.
It was Hyundai. And that's what's funny, because, the shipments come in the back, and I'm usually right there, and I can see them, and I'm the only guy in the company that drives a Hyundai. So I see this box, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This has got to be something.
Did you order a part or something?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look, and I'm like, oh, well, it makes perfect sense.
And the funny thing is, I'm the one that boxed that order, but it never. I'm looking around the office, and we have a different collection of boxes, and I was like, whatever it is that Abe ordered, it just fit perfect. This is a perfect box for this order. Boom, out the door. That's so funny.
Well, listen, Juan, I really want to thank you for taking your time on your Saturday morning and entertaining everybody and sharing your stories and coming on KMA Talk.
Always an honor. Always an honor to be with you. I have a lot of respect for you and your family, and I love you guys, and thank you for having me on.
And Coop, as always, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
Every week. Always a pleasure. Everybody out there, thank you for joining us Saturday morning from the whole crew here, Paul, Alex, and myself. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter. Enjoy yourselves. Next week, we have Justin Andrews, Senior Brand Manager of General Cigar. Until then.
Good man, gentlemen.
Good lit.